So here are the beans in the pot. I have a lot to say. Because of the results from recent lab testing, I feel empowered to share more about how I eat. Lab tests show that I am supporting healing by consuming a balanced diet with both vegan meals and other times proportional meals with meat. Here is my meal prep for my week-long light meat protein meal. And I'm going to make some chili or some beans that can be eaten with a variety of things. So I have my organics here. I actually thought this was organic and it's only non-GMO, so I'm going to soak those in some apple cider vinegar to make sure that I get all of any possible pesticides, help combat the pesticides and herbicides. But everything else is organic. So let me just say, this is optional. I don't normally cook with this. I'm adding it today for flavor. And normally when I don't have any meat, I use 2 beef broths, but I have meat today. So I only have 1 beef broth. This is for flavor. And these will substitute as water. Definitely adding in that nutrients that vegetables can and do. So here are the beans, and I'm going to pour in some apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to let this soak for 30 minutes. I don't necessarily have to let the beans soak. They say soaking it shortens the cook time. Some resources say soaking it takes away flavoring. But needless to say, I'll have enough flavoring. This is just an effort to, combat the herbicides or pesticides that were possibly used to treat all of the vegetable broth. And I'm going to let this cook for 20 minutes after it starts to boil. I have it 1 notch past medium heat, and I'm going to cook it pretty much so intense until the beans are ready. And this is going to take several hours. So these have been cooking for 20 minutes. They're still hard. They're going to cook for at least 2 hours. But I'm going to go ahead at this time and add the other fluids. So I'm going to add the mushroom broth. And this again is for flavor and it's optional. And then I'm going to add the beef broth. Everything could have been added at one time at the beginning, but this is just the way that I cook it. Everybody has their methods. And so I'm going to let this cook for 30 more minutes. This has been cooking for the beans. The dried beans have been cooking for a little bit over 30 additional minutes for a total cook time of about an hour, 50 minutes or so. So now I like to add the seasoning. So for the seasoning, I have 3 large cloves of organic garlic or 6 small cloves of garlic. I have organic sage. I have organic turmeric, organic cayenne, non-GMO pink Himalayan, organic garlic, organic paprika, organic chili powder, organic cumin, and organic black pepper. I'm also going to add some sweetness with some organic brown sugar. It doesn't have to be light, just organic brown sugar. A big pot, and I'm going to start off with teaspoons of each seasoning. I'll taste it and see if I need to make alterations, but everything is a teaspoon's worth. So let me specify. This is actually a teaspoon of garlic, sage, chili pepper, turmeric, and paprika, and a half teaspoon of salt, brown cumin because I was running out of it, and black pepper. And I'm going to actually sprinkle in the cayenne because it is extremely spicy. And I'm going to probably do 1/4 cup of the brown sugar. So here all the seasonings go right on into the chili. And I'm going to stir that in. The beans are still hard. This is probably going to cook for at least another hour. I'm going to add a couple shakes of cayenne and then the brown sugar. So I want my chili to have a little spice. I like the combating flavors with the sweet and the spicy. But I'm going to probably give it one. I gave it one before, so that's 2, 3, 4 shakes of cayenne pepper. Here is the 1/4 cup of brown sugar that I'm going to put in to start. These are good starting points for the seasoning, but they're probably going to need more, and I won't know that until I'm able to taste it. So this has been cooking for about an hour with the top off of it. I'm going to cook it the rest of the way with the top on it. So for about another hour with top on. So the chili has been cooking for about 2 hours, and the beans are starting to get tender. I forgot to add in ingredients, and for the last 30 minutes to an hour, I'm going to add this, but I normally would have added it with the seasoning. So I do eat meat, and this is grass-fed hamburger meat. It's about a little bit over a pound, and it has no antibiotics, no growth hormones, no artificial ingredients, and it's minimal processed. And this is the meat that I typically eat when I'm eating hamburgers and things like that. I'm going to brown this, and then I'm going to add this into the chili. I had already preheated the pot, the pan, and I'm just going to brown this. I'm not going to add any seasoning. All of the seasoning is going to come from the chili. These beans have been cooking for about 2 hours or so, and this is how I know when they're about ready. This can cook for another hour or just 30 more minutes. So I'm going to add the other ingredients that don't require a long cooking time. This is health supporting, but I decided that I wanted to jazz it up with a different variety of beans. So these are kidney beans, and I'm going to add it in to add a little bit more different flavor. So I browned the meat, and now I'm going to add this to the chili. Don't want the juices, just the meat. So I'm going to let this cook for about another 30 minutes. And then I think it'll be done, but then I'll do my taste test and see if any additional seasonings or changes need to be made. Well, it certainly needs to cook because it still has tomato paste in it. I'm going to do a taste test. Albeit the beans are nice and tender, it's a little bland, so I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of sweetener. I've used both agave and honey in this, but I'm just going to stick to the brown sugar. And it doesn't have enough spice, so I'm going to add some more cayenne pepper. So it actually doesn't have any spice. I'm thinking the holes of this maybe have a little moisture on it. Well, that's definitely 1, 2, 3. I don't think enough of it came out before. Maybe the 4 that I did originally, if I had got more out, would have been enough. So this is done. Let me do another tasting. So it's the strangest thing. It's not spicy and it's not sweet enough. So I'm going to add 3 more shakes of cayenne. And this time I'm going to put in honey instead of the brown sugar. So I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Of honey, of organic honey. Where is it at? Organic honey. And I'm going to see if this improves upon the sweetness factor. This is truly delicious. It's really easy to make. I didn't have to watch over it. It literally cooked for 2 hours and 30 minutes all by itself with minimal stirring. And it's versatile, so tonight we're going to have it just all by itself. And we may have it the next day with rice. My son likes to put cheese in it or sour cream. I may have it a following day with avocados in it and a side of vegetables. But tonight we're going to do a fake it till you make a smoothie because of the hour. And we're going to enjoy. Until next time, thanks for watching. Check out some of the pictures to see how diverse chili is. When it comes to chili, there are so many other options.